What's the coaching point on this three?
There's a lot of points. One of them, obviously, the first thing is always you can always after the game look at the calls that you make, and that happens every game. I do it every game, at every single call that we make in the game, and you can always, based on the play that came out, say I should have done this, and I did that. And then the other part is we got to get off blocks and make plays and run to the ball. You can't go backdoor on blocks, and when you get a one-on-one opportunity versus a blocker, we got to be able to shed and disengage and get the guy down.
And with Quinn on the rush, is that he is 50-50? He can either try and bat it or turn and run?
Both. That's part of the technique and fundamentals that we try to teach and try to recognize. And anytime a tackle gets out on you fast, you want to try to get in his hip pocket because the batted balls are less likely in those situations. And so you want to try to get in his hip pocket, but that's on us. We got to make sure we coach it and then we get it. So we got to do a better job of that. I got to do a better job of that.
DHC went a long ways to make that play. Did you have some loafs on the play from some other players? Was there adequate hustle?
No, I don't think. I think we can be better in terms of the hustle. Now, he did an outstanding job, and he gave us a shot, quite frankly. And we stopped him on first down, stopped him on second down, and had another third down red zone opportunity where the last few weeks we've been getting hit on third down red zone opportunities. And so that's a tale of a couple things. That means you're playing really good on first, second down in the red zone, and then you got to strain for one more down in the red zone, and we haven't been as good doing that in the last couple weeks.
When you can do better on the hustle on that play. Obviously, the screen is the flashpoint, but it wasn't a good day other than that. We don't know Khalil, no Eddie. What was your main coaching point walking away from it? What was your biggest concern?
Yeah, the biggest concern, there's a couple things. Too many explosive plays. That's not who we want to be, and we want to tackle better, and that's part of the effort and the mindset going into that. So those are the two big takeaways, and, I would agree with you. It wasn't a good day, and I would take it a step further. Really, we played 11 minutes of bad football in the second half. We gave up 9 in the first half, and one of those was the end of 2-minute end of half off the explosive that we still held them to a field goal, but you don't even give up that explosive, and it's probably another punt. So it's 6 points there. The second half, though, not 11 minutes when we were on the field was bad football, and that starts with me. And it's going to end with me, and the players know where they're accountable and where they can execute better. And like I said, I know where I'm accountable and I can execute better, and the staff does as well, and we will be better than that. That was our worst 11 minutes of football that we played this year.
I'm sure you don't spend a lot of time looking at rankings and stuff, but your run defense the last 3 weeks has taken a significant dip. Do you have an explanation for it, and how problematic is that for you if you guys can't get that turned around quickly?
Yeah, right. So anytime you have a couple bad games or a couple bad plays, we had 4 plays that we gave up in that game, in the run game, for about 100 yards. And that's alarming to give up that. And then the other, however many rushes they had, the other 25 rushes was under 2.2 yards a carry. So it's those 4 plays that we got to get fixed, and the offenses and the good coaches, and there's a lot of good coaches in this league around the league, see those 4 plays, and they're going to try to hit you on those over and over again. And so we got to make sure we resolve those plays from a schematic perspective and from an individual technique and fundamental perspective. And that's what's been magnified for us here the last few weeks and you said it, it's the explosives. You play out of 60 plays, you can play 50 good ones. But if the other 10 on defense are explosives, it usually ends up in points. And we can't do that. And that's not the brand of football we want to play. That's not what we pride ourselves on. And we will be, and we need to be better at that.
Before the half, they got no timeouts. Do you want the callback or better execution on the D-ball?
I didn't hear.
D-ball before the half, they got no timeouts. You want the callback or better execution on that play?
Both. Every single call, like I said, after every game, part of my routine is to go back and recall the game off of what happened. Then you try to see what happens and what hits, and you always want to be in the perfect call. And that was one where they had the right call up in terms of the coverage, and they found the soft spot in the defense. And it was a one-on-one. Now, we have expectation in the defense to help that soft spot, and that didn't get done from an execution standpoint. And so that's got to improve because we've got answers on that, and we've got interception opportunities on that that we let out there on that same play. And so we will be better. And quite frankly, Kendall, he's in lockstep with Debo. And he got his backhand on Debo's backhand, and Debo, we know, is a strong hands catcher, and that's a credit to him to bring that ball down when his backhand is getting raked at. And so we got to be better there, for sure. But he's in lockstep with him. You'd like them to be probably a yard higher on the route, on the leverage. But both is to your answer, you know.
What do you need to do differently?
Yeah, so, and I think Gip gave you guys a good explanation of it the other day. And he said it, he's in a deep half over there, and that half safety is expected to play half the field, and part of half the field is a big post away from you. And so he got a little bit too wide, in his landmark. And so because he broke late on it, but that's, this is a game of inches and a game of yards. And so in this league, when you're a couple inches or a couple yards off, it's going to expose you. And that's where a lot of our explosives is unfortunate for us, and we got to get it fixed, have been that story.
Sean, if there were 4 explosive runs, there's a 5th run where your entire defense got pushed from basically the 45-yard line to the end zone. What was your diagnosis on that play?
That's gut wrenching. You don't want that because that's a stopped run. It was a 1 yard, should have been a 1 yard gain, and it's a stalemate. And their second effort was better than ours, and that's not what you want to put on tape. And that's not been characteristic of us. I want to make sure that's clear. That's not been characteristic of this defense. Now, it's primacy or recency. You are what you most recently put on tape, and we understand that. The players understand that, and we got a great opportunity on Monday night to put our brand of football on tape.
Sean, with Khalil Mack, we know what he looks like when he's at full capacity. What did you guys see that made you think this is just not right and we need to give him time to get right?
I'm not sure it's anything we saw, because you saw what he was like, when he was not, because he's not been at full capacity here for a few weeks, and he's still been productive and impacted the game in a positive way. There are obviously medical things that go into that, which I'm not going to speak on, but it's just player health and wellness and making sure he's at the best that he can be at for us.
Sean, it seems like you got a lot of messages here for your defense. The worst 11 minutes that we played, their second effort was better than ours. Like, what sense do you have from your team in delivering those messages to the guys themselves in meetings?
What sense? I mean,
like how angry are they? Like, how is their pride?
I wouldn't question professional athletes' pride. These guys are all here for a reason, and we believe in the reasons that they're here for. And you guys have covered football a long time. That stuff happens, and it's unfortunate that it happens. And it's unfortunate that we got hit the way it did. But I wouldn't question anybody's pride on this team, and I wouldn't question anybody's effort overall. And then when there are issues like that, it gets addressed very directly and very honestly. And to myself also. It gets addressed very directly and honestly to me. And that's how you got to do it. Because we're all professionals and we all want the same thing and we all expect the same thing. And I think everybody in our organization for sure and our players for sure know what our standard is. And I've talked to you guys about it. And when you don't uphold that standard, it hurts. And it should hurt because it means something to you. Now, the great thing is we got another chance. So we got another opportunity to rectify against another team here that plays to their standards. And they've held their standards for a long time and the type of brand of football that the Pittsburgh Steelers play. So it's going to be a great opportunity for us to kind of get that, shake that one off.
How confident are you that you guys will be able to clean up some of the issues that have surfaced?
Very. Very. I'm always very confident. And you got to be. I believe in our guys. I believe in our coaching staff. I believe in myself. And we're going to stay the course. This is not a panic type of situation. Like I said, we played good football. And we played 11 minutes of bad football. So we got to fix those 11 minutes and make sure that's not what persists the rest of the season. And get back to kind of what we know and what our identity is and uphold that.
Where do you see Roethlisberger's experience come out?
Oh, in the whole game. I mean, I feel like that question's been on repeat for us since week one. And rightfully so. We played a lot of veteran good quarterbacks. But it's the same. Those guys that do it, they see it all, they know where the pressures are coming from. He gets the ball out faster than anybody in the league, and with still accuracy. And he's able to understand where the soft spots in the defense are, understand that it's okay for him to throw a ball away and play to the next down. And that's where they've been effective on offense. And obviously they play to their strengths. They're going to run the ball a bunch. and they got a really good running back. And he's going to be a really good running back, in my opinion, for a long time in this league.
What was the breakdown that got you guys caught with 10 men on the field? I know Jalen bailed you out, but that's obviously not what you want on the goal line.
That's right. That's not what you want. That's on coaching, 100%. Anytime there's a personnel issue, it's coaching. In terms of number of players on the field, and that's us. It starts with me.
What about Harris is leaving an impression on you?
Oh, he's pretty much everything. He's dynamic. He's dynamic in between the tackles. He's very patient as a runner. He can make the cuts to the left and the right, and it's not. He makes the one cut and he makes the jump cut. So you got to defend a lot of different cuts with him. And then when he runs with the ball in space, he can make you miss. He can make you miss with speed. He can make you miss with a stiff arm. And then if you try to go low on him as a tackle, he's going to jump over you. So he's a complete solid back that plays to his strengths.
You mentioned Roethlisberger getting the ball out quickly. How much of a challenge is that for your pass rushers then that have been having trouble getting to the quarterback anyways the last couple weeks?
Yeah, right. The science of it is you don't get to him, and that's why Ben's not getting sacked much right now, right? That's just if there's a certain time it takes, just like on a punt play, there's a certain time it takes to go block a punt. Right, it's got to be under a certain number of seconds and under a certain number of this. That's the same thing in the sack world. Right, people don't get sacks in 1 second, right? Because there's NFL players on the other side of the field that are going to block you, right? So the challenge is we got to get creative in how we try to attack them, when we try to attack them, and we got to get tight on coverage. It's sacks. I've told you guys this forever is a function of rush and coverage, and you can't have a breakdown in one and expect the other to be great. It's just not possible. It's not how this league works. So we need to be tight in coverage, and we need to be tight. And then when Ben gets to the second or third pump, we got to get there. And that's the time window. You got. I mean, I think it's 2.2 or 2.3 that he's getting the ball out in terms of average. So, I mean, if you hold him to 3, we better win on those chances that we get in 3 seconds. Oh, extremely, because now you're telling the guys to be tight on the low routes and the deep routes. Right, and that's what it is. But that's what this offense is. And so that's our challenge this week, is they got to be tight on all the routes. And then we got to be in great communication. We got to make sure our tools are correct in terms of the coverage communication and the coverage tools. And you can't have bust against great quarterback, because if you do, he's going to make you pay. And they got the receivers to make you pay in space. So the challenge is on all levels of our defense, and like it is every week. And, they present themselves in different ways, but that's the opportunity that we need to embrace.
Sean, how do you think Robert handled being away and then having to come back and go?
Yeah, as a pro, like I told you, when you talk about him and practice and his preparation, it's one of the best I've seen for a guy that's played this long. He loves football. He loves to be out there practicing, and it hurt him, I think, personally, to not be out there practicing with his players, because that's what he loves. But he prepared. He was in all the meetings via Zoom, met extra meetings with his coach, with Coach Shuey via Zoom and all that stuff. So he had a good idea of the plan. And the good thing is, at least as a vet, it's not new to him. It'd be different if it was a rookie or something like that that doesn't have many reps under his belt, that's got to go in there and practice. But that's a benefit that, in this situation where he's had a lot of reps and, kind of understands football, so he's able to go out there and still execute for us.